What is up, guys? Welcome to JS Racing. My name is Jason. I am now back at the track, and let me just show you something real quick. I am going to work on the dyno, and what's going to happen is I'm going to be installing this onto the dyno just to make sure that, you know, everything fits. I'm going to have to figure out how to put the servo down to pull on the throttle and also the brakes. So here's the brakes. I need to modify that, and here's the throttle line. So I need to take out this whole thing and instead use a servo to drive the throttle and the brakes. So yeah, I'm gonna figure out that first, and I'm gonna just leave the camera rolling because I don't know how long that's gonna take me. But I do have an idea on how to put the throttle servo down. It's more the brakes that I'm gonna have trouble with because yeah, I want to keep part of the handlebar that I had for the brakes. See this handlebar, because that's going to give you a lot better leverage. But the problem with that is that if we use the handlebar, the travel of the servo might not be long enough from start to finish to actually pull the entire thing. So I'm gonna have to test that out. But yeah, anyway, so let's get started. Okay, so just then the shot got cut off for some reason, but anyway, so this is the throttle cable. I've repositioned it, okay, to be here. Let me just show you where I'm going to put the servo. The servo is going to come here, right? So I'm just going to have to figure out something that I can attach this cable to in order for a servo to pull on this. Yeah, pull on this. So yeah, I'm gonna have to figure that out. The cable is gonna come this way, or and do it this way. Doesn't matter. Either way, I'm gonna have to figure something out to pull on this, so that this pulls on this. Yeah, yeah. There you go. I think this is a bit too low though, because it's at an angle. So I'm gonna have to figure something out to have this perhaps offset a bit further up. Yeah, let's do that first. I'm gonna do this. See this? I'm gonna add this plate. Yep. To make it higher. Oh, hold on. Yeah. Do that. Yeah, add that first, and then push this throttle cable through. Yep, let's do that. Right, so the throttle, I've basically figured out the situation, but then I need to work on the brakes. I'm gonna have to take out the entire assembly that I used to do the throttle and the brakes. Then I'm gonna reposition the brakes somehow and then figure out a way to do the servo. Yeah. By the way, for the AFR, my friend welded the sensor adapter already to the header. So yeah, that's one less thing for me to worry about. Oh, well, by the way, this is the new header that we designed. It's a lot shorter, a lot more straight, a lot less restrictive for the exhaust gas to come out. It's actually really good for yeah. It's absolutely amazing for adding a bit more. Well, I wouldn't say adding a bit more like unlocking more power from the engine. All right, so next up I need to install the optical encoder, and I'm gonna do it here, probably somewhere around here, so that it's like sitting on the wheel. Yeah, I'm gonna figure that out now. I'm gonna do it. All right, so this is what I've come up with. I'm gonna have, whoa, what the fuck? Anyway, so I'm gonna have this plate sticking out a little bit, and then I'm gonna have this fit onto this. Yep, like that. Yep. So yeah, let's do that. There you go. So it's offset a little bit, but now it's sitting right on the flywheel, which is fantastic. And it's, yeah, the spring is a bit too light. I'm gonna have to make it a bit tighter, just so that it doesn't, you know, get bounced off the flywheel as the engine is vibrating. So let's adjust that. All I need to do is just adjust the these screws here. There you go. All right, so I got the throttle situation worked out. And I'll show you real quick what that looks like. So, oh shit, where is it? There you go. So that is the servo for the throttle. And if you look here, oh shit, how am I gonna do this? There you go. So I got this sort of steel wire attached to this, and then the throttle cable comes through, loops back around, and then it's fixed by this. So any time that the servo is, you know, moving, it'll pull the entire assembly, which is yeah, that's how it works. Now I need to do the same thing for the brakes, and the brakes is going to be a lot more difficult, so I'm going to have to figure that out, because the servo arms, they're all plastic, so I'm not sure if they're going to be able to withstand that kind of pressure from the brakes, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. Yeah. All right, guys, so I'm now back in the hotel room, and I'm actually sort of implementing a lot of fixes and changes to the Dyno app. After all the hardware was implemented, you know, and that I was, you know, pretty much satisfied with, and I calibrated the servos and all that, you know, I had to do a lot of testing, because before I didn't actually have a lot of opportunities to test the hardware and the software at the same time, along with, you know, an engine running and actually collecting data. Now in the previous video, at the end of it, I actually showed you guys that I was connecting to the data logger with the ad hoc Wi-Fi connection. So the controller was emitting a sort of like a own personal Wi-Fi ad hoc, and the connection is very snappy. It was very responsive. It was great for servo control, and you guys saw it. You know, it was very responsive. But the problem comes up when I would want to collect data, and we're talking about 100 hertz. That's a lot of data coming in when you are not just collecting RPM data, you're collecting AFR data, you're talking about like, exhaust gas temperatures, engine oil pressure, all that stuff. So there was a lot of data coming into the app, and that actually broke the hardware. So it didn't break, but it was stalling it, it was crashing it. So that quickly fell through. So I spent a better part of my trip. So today is not actually the same day as I was installing the hardware. This is actually a couple of days in already. I'm actually at the end of my first week here at the new track. So so I was spending quite a bit of time testing different ideas on how to connect to the controller, from the app, to better control the servo and collect the data as well. I mean, the second idea was to have the controller connect to the local Wi-Fi network, and then my app would connect to the same network, obviously. That sounded like a really cool idea in the beginning, because I would be able to, literally sit in a completely different room, completely different floor. And if I have a camera set up, like a webcam pointing at the dyno, I could literally just control the dyno online. But that also quickly fell through because the latency for controlling the servo is actually quite bad. So if you have a lot of web traffic at the same time happening, it's gonna be really bad, because even without much traffic in the local Wi-Fi network, I would see that if I'm like pressing on a throttle, I would see the percentage of the throttle go up to 100%, but it would take a few seconds later for me to actually see that happening on the servo, in real life. So that's pretty dangerous, because if you ever get disconnected or there's an interruption to the packet sending the instructions to the controller, then the controller will very likely be stuck at 100%, and then the engine will just keep running and running, and that's very, very dangerous. So I quickly dropped that idea. The third idea was Bluetooth connection. Bluetooth connection is very similar to ad hoc Wi-Fi in the sense that it's very snappy, responsive control. So there's literally next to no latency. And when I tried it, it worked very, very well. But problem again is the same as the ad hoc connection, and that is if you're trying to collect a lot of data at the same time, Bluetooth is not gonna work very well. So what I ended up doing was like a hybrid. So and also a bit of a change in the way that data is collected. So what would happen now is Bluetooth connection connecting to the hardware. I control the hardware, and then I only get like regular updates at much lower frequency, maybe 10 hertz or something like that. And that is not a lot of stress for the Bluetooth, which is great. So I would still see something happening on the data curve. It's actually quite similar to what you'd see in Simple Dyno, but it's just not as high fidelity as 100 hertz. But it doesn't really matter, because on the live curve, you just want to see something happening. You just want to know that the engine's doing such and such and what's happening and around this particular point in time, because everything else is going to be logged, and you're going to be able to see all of that during curve fitting. So what happens is I would have the controller collect all the high fidelity data and store it temporarily, and then at the end of the dyno run, it will give me the whole package in a burst, and that would not be a problem at all. And that has worked very, very well. So I have that resolved, and that's basically done. So if I also have the Wi-Fi as a fallback, so if the BLE is not able to send me the data, I can still rely on the local Wi-Fi network to send me the data. So that's still good. So control is snappy. I get the data, no problems, and that was sort of it. But then but then there's a next problem that I needed to tackle, and that is the track simulation. So the app doesn't only just offer live data collection or logging from the dyno runs. We also have the function where you can, use a track profile and then have the dyno simulate a track run. So if you have recorded some data, with a onboard computer or something, then the dyno will mimic the throttle and braking, all that, or matching the RPM, whichever it is, and then it will repeat that. So you can also use that as an engine run-in program, or you can repeat that to simulate an endurance race, like 24 hours, repeating the whole track profile over and over again. So I thought of that and realized we actually need to collect data from those runs as well. And the longer the run, the more data we need to collect, and the package of the data, it gets really, really big. For example, if I'm talking about like a 24-hour run, including all the sensor, connected everything, we're talking about close to 90 megs of data at 100 hertz. That's a lot. And that's definitely not something that it's going to work through BLE and also ad hoc Wi-Fi, because it's crashed on me before. But the good thing with simulation is that I don't have to consistently send control instructions to the dyno, because I can just send the profile to the control once and then just tell it to repeat 1,000 times, 2,000 times, however many times to reach the 24-hour, 8-hour, 12-hour mark, whatever. That once that instruction is done, the radio is actually free to continuously stream data to me. So 90 megs definitely won't be able to be stored on board the controller, because the controller only has about 8 megs of space. So I need to be able to stream that. So in this scenario, I can rely on the local network to stream that, which is great. So basically on the control side, I have everything covered. And basically, once that was resolved, I was back to testing the rest of the sensors and all that stuff, and then calibrating all that. But I ran into another problem, because the AFR sensor that I had installed, I originally thought that was going to be an I2C sort of connection, but then I realized that the I2C connection that was offered on the AFR controller was not a runtime sort of, data output port. It was more like a configuration settings or whatever. So I couldn't get any data from the I2C port. So I had to figure out how else I could get the data from the AFR controller, and I ended up going the analog route. So by the end of today, I was actually messing around with that. So I had to, rework the circuit and basically test the voltage, and then, see how that matches with the AFR being displayed on the board itself and on the app. So I was trying to calibrate that. So that's where I'm at. But obviously that's going to, I think I'm gonna need another day to get that sorted out, but I'm very close, very, very close, because a lot of the sensors are already working pretty well. It's just the AFR sensor, but that's also one of the most important sensors and one of the most anticipated sensors that I really wanted to get data from for our dyno run. So yeah, I'm stuck on that at the moment, but yeah, I'm getting close. So I'm gonna work on that a bit more tonight. Tomorrow I'm gonna rest for a day, probably hit the track for the afternoon, just have some fun, relax a little bit, and then I'll get back to it the day after. Then we can, then I can see if I can actually show you the end result of how that looks with the track, simulation, live dyno runs, and the curve fitting, the analysis, all that stuff. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And I think I'm pretty much there. So I'm gonna get back to work and wait for the next shot, I suppose. Yeah, I'm not cutting the video short this time. All right, so I'm now back in the track, and what I'm basically stuck working on right now is just two very strange issues. One is the optical encoder is putting out very high RPM readings, which is very strange because for the flywheel it's generally around, I don't know, like 300-400 for engine idle, and then for, you know, when the engine actually runs, maybe max like 1600 or even 1700, but most of the time it's like around 1400, 1500. But right now it's reading at 2300, and the flywheel, converted to the engine, it's about 13,000 RPM, which is impossible because I'm just using a very standard, one of those clones. It's not even modified to actually test the RPM, and these things probably only run about 5,000 to 6,000 max, so I'm not really understanding why it's actually outputting such high value. So just let me show you on the screen. There you go. So yeah, I've actually increased the font size as well. So anyway, so you can see here the roller RPM is 2400, which is impossible, and because of the gear ratio applied to it, it's now at 13 something thousand. That's actually impossible as well. So yeah, don't know why that's doing that. Another issue I'm having is reading from the AFR. So right now I'm still calibrating because it's always stuck at a really high number, which is like extremely lean, which is impossible as well. So I don't know what's going on with that. But the good news is the curves. So let me just show you real quick. Oh, no. That's a screenshot, sorry. But anyway, so when editing the curves and then, pushing it to the controller and then making it run the servo, all that stuff, that all works perfectly, and getting data, everything, it works perfectly. It's just these two numbers are still giving me a headache, and also saving. So whenever I'm trying to save the data into the computer for analysis, it gets stuck for some reason. So I'm not sure what's going on. So I'm trying to troubleshoot the issues right now. I'm trying to, I've just been working on that the entire morning. So yeah, anyway, I'll get back to you guys when I have a breakthrough. So I'm still working on the dyno, but it's actually working out pretty well. So let me just show you a dyno run. So if I do something like, it's gotta be very noisy. All right guys, so I'm updating the firmware right now. The engine's running in the background, warming up, and I'll show you a really quick run just to show you, how the remote control, everything looks like, and how the readings look on the app. So bear with me for a moment. Once the firmware is updated, I'll be able to do that. It's still very noisy. So that was the remote controlled run. I wasn't controlling the throttle or the brakes, it was just the curve. So yeah, that was doing that, and yeah, that was basically it. All right, so I am actually on my way back home now. It's gonna be a 7 hours drive. And the reason why I didn't film like the end of the sort of like the dyno run session is that I was actually having issues with downloading data. So what's happening is when I do like all the, upload all the commands, instruct the controller to run the dyno run, control the throttle, braking, all that stuff. It's fantastic. Responsive, snappy, works very, very well. Collecting the data, working very, very well. And also previously I had another issue where I was getting false AFR reading, which I mentioned earlier, and that's because I was actually using the incorrect I/O from the AFR controller. So after that, I had to sort of use the analog output, which I had to calibrate for a little bit as well. But that worked well, very well, actually, after the calibration. So all the sensors, everything works well, controllers work well. The only issue left now is at the end of the dyno run, I would have problems downloading the files, and the error is basically no end of file. So it's like either a corrupted thing or something is causing the download to fail midway. So I mean, I was like in a hurry. I actually wanted to leave at around like 12 o'clock in the afternoon, well, noontime, but it's like 5 o'clock in the afternoon now. I have to go because it's a 7 hours drive. I'm gonna arrive home at 12, so it's gonna be crazy. So what I've done is I left the dyno, everything obviously at the racetrack, but I'm taking the controller home. So I'm gonna play around with the controller, continue debugging all the issues, trying to basically fix the problem. And hopefully by the time I fixed it, and by the time I go back next time, which I'm planning to do in about a week or two, then I should have a running dyno that is perfectly recording data, perfectly running all the track sims and all that. I mean, with the track sim, I don't think it's a huge problem, because right now with the track sim, it's more of a logic problem than anything, because when I was running a track sim just to test it out, like the brakes were following the braking curve and all that stuff. It's only the throttle that had a problem, but that's not an issue as well, because the logic that I had previously was that it had to follow the RPM set by the profile, and the RPM was engine RPM. But right now I don't have the engine RPM set, because there is an issue with the way I do the RPM detection, because I forgot to add like a filtering, all that. So I have to add a little bit of a circuitry just to clean up the signal a little bit, just in case it fries the board. So I mean, the RPM detection logic is sound. It's just that the voltage coming from the CDI, the ignition coil is just too much. So it was like frying the board. So obviously that's not going to work. So anyway, it's more just relying on the RPM of the flywheel now. So I need to change the logic a little bit. I think the RPM still needs to be based on engine RPM. So I'm going to apply the gear ratio to the flywheel ratio just to make sure the math is correct, and I don't change the core logic before I fit all the new filtering circuitry in there. But other than that, everything's working pretty well. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this time. It was a pretty productive trip because I did 3 things. I deployed the cart hut, I deployed the base station, I deployed the JSR Studio app. So the guys at the track now can do training with the kids with the new app. And also I installed everything that I wanted to install on the dyno. So the dyno now no longer needs the crappy, you know, pull rod on the throttle and the brakes. And it's working much better than I thought. So it's just more resolving the issue of downloading the files from the controller through Bluetooth. And other than that, that's pretty much it. Yeah, so I think that's it for now because there's really not much I can show you. Unfortunately, I thought this was going to be just one single video, but it has come to quite a few parts so far, and it still hasn't ended because, yeah, there's just too many issues. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's it for this video. I will post a final video very, very soon, in about 2 weeks' time, because that's when I'm coming back to the track to finalize all the circuitry, all the firmware updates, everything, and then after that, yeah, we'll be doing a lot of other cool things. Because I have another project in mind now, because, you know, I am never going to stop creating new things, obviously. So having the dyno built and being able to collect all those important data, the natural next step would be to create an ECU. So that's what I'm thinking of, because you know, I want to try to create something that is going to be able to adjust the ignition timing as the RPM changes. And with that, I need a controller that's able to work pretty fast, you know, trigger the ignition pulses, and that's pretty much it. Anyway, so yeah, for real, that's it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.